So somebody's gonna say, you should bring this over to your other channel. This isn't off-grid. Well, I think this is more off-grid than the other channel in this particular case. As you can see here, we got the Beast, and it's under operation again. It's back in the operating room. And I've told you in a previous video that the charging system had went kaput. Well, today I started making a video on the other channel for the Beast, and we were going to replace the stator and all that stuff, and tested it, and it was actually getting worse. Last time I tested it was at 15 volts AC. This time it was at 12 point something AC, so it was even below spec. It was supposed to be no less than 13. So I was pretty sure it was a stator. And the stator and the voltage regulator are only $30, 20, yeah, probably about $30. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and order one, but I didn't want to take it out offline and have it sitting in here in the customer, bay here, with it all tore apart. So I thought, well, I'll tear it apart, and if there's something more to it, then I'll worry about it at that point. If it had been a customer, I would have taken it apart before I'd ordered any parts, but it wasn't a customer. So you get a voltage regulator and a new stator. But when I took the flywheel off of this, all the magnets had come off the flywheel. I'll show you that in a minute. And we're sticking to the old stator. Now I kept the old stator because it's pretty obvious it's pretty good. Or it's still good, I should say. So I just assumed, well, and rightfully so. And the thing is if I was doing this for a customer, since I was already working with the electrical system, I would have went ahead and done all of it as well. So I would have went ahead and taken it apart, noticed the magnets were bad, bought a new flywheel, bought a new stator, bought a new voltage regulator, because you're in the system. You just will do it all at once. That's my thinking. And since it's only $30 for the stator, then why not? The problem is the flywheel is really expensive. I just had a customer come in and had all the magnets broke on his lawnmower. Similar problem to what I had. They all came off the flywheel, but his magnets broke. And you can buy magnets, a set of two, a positive and a negative, for $50. And you got to have 6 of them. So you're up to $150 just to buy magnets. And then you got to be talented enough to actually glue the magnets back onto the flywheel. So the magnets look like this, and there's 6 of them, and one's negative and one's positive. And the way you check is you can take another magnet, stick it to the end here, and if it repels, then it's negative. If it attracts, then it's positive, or vice versa, whatever. And that's the stator. That's the old one. Now, anytime I've ever done any work for a customer, I've always replaced the flywheel. It's just a safer bet. You can buy those magnets and give it a try. The worst thing that's going to happen is it don't work, and you have to go buy the flywheel anyways. So I've had this happen to one other mower that I've owned, and I didn't have to buy any parts because it was under warranty still. So they went ahead and gave me a new flywheel for free. So I've never actually had to glue the magnets on. I know how to do it. Like I said, you got a negative and a positive. You got 6 magnets. So 3 of them are negative, 3 of them are positive, and you got to stagger them. 1 negative, 1 positive, negative, positive, all the way around the flywheel. And I have a flywheel. Just so you know what a flywheel is, I come over here. I don't want to show you what I've done just yet. Now, that video I did with the customer, that's not been released yet. It's still in queue for the other channel. And I just replaced the flywheel on that one. I didn't do the magnets either. So this is the old flywheel to that customer video, that customer's lawnmower. It was a 0 turn. So I just replaced the flywheel, and it was $260 for this. And the magnets, you saw that magnet. Well, I can take it back around. That magnet sits inside the flywheel. Now, even Kohler, when they put these together, are not very consistent on any of it, because when you put these magnets in, there's a space between each magnet. So you put your magnet in like that, and there's 5 more. It goes around, and I have a broken magnet here I'll use to kind of simulate the next magnet. And so the next magnet would go in next to it. But Kohler doesn't space them very well. So what I did was I took a clothespin, just one side of the clothespin, and I gapped it with that clothespin. It's not perfect, but close enough. Especially since Kohler is way off on theirs. And again, you go all the way around. And then you got to have 1/8 of an inch from the top here, and 1/8 of an inch from the bottom, the inside here. So you can put a spacer here, or I just use the back end of a caliper, and I kind of measured it that way. So I did not show that on the video. I'm doing it here because as a shade tree mechanic, or somebody who's doing this for professionally, I'm going to suggest that you should buy the Flywheel. The magnets are starting to get old, if you think about that. Of course, you can buy them for $150. I don't know if I'd want to spend $150 on magnets and it not work, and then have to go spend another $300 on a Flywheel, because that's what mine's going to cost, $300, $350. And they vary in prices greatly. So I gave it a shot. So you can see that I've got the magnets in here, and just like everybody else, I used JB Weld to hold it in. I've spaced them with the clothespins like I told you I did, and I pushed them down about 1/4 inch, or 1/8 inch, I'm sorry, 1/8 inch, and I'm going to let it dry for 24 hours. Now, the reason I went with JB Weld, one, everybody else is using it, but two, it gives you time to maneuver it around. Other stuff, you could, it starts to dry before you can get all the measurements set and all the spacing completed. So this gives you plenty of time. Now, everybody else has a clamp. They used all these clamps to hold them in place. I don't have any clamps. So it's a magnet, so I don't know why I need a clamp. You're not getting any more pressure out of it. So I cleaned up the inside where it's going to, be sticking and everything. So we'll see. Now, like I said, I tested it. I'm going to show you how I tested the magnets, and then I'm going to show you how I verified the magnets once I had them in place. Because I didn't want to be confused. I just wanted to make sure that I had it right. So this is how I verified it. If it sticks in the center, then it's positive. If it sticks on the side, you see, center of the magnet, but I can't get it to stick on the side. But on this one, it won't stick in the center, it sticks on the side. So, center, side, center, side, center, side, center, side, center, side. Hope that makes sense. Now, when they were off, I picked it up, and I'll take you back up to the other magnet. I should have brought it down with me. And the proper way of checking it is do it on the edge of the magnet. The problem with that is now it's on there. I can't verify it. You'd have to take it off in order to verify it. So let me clean my magnet off because it's got JB Weld on it now. So you take your magnet and you come to the edge. Okay, see, this one's repelling. It shoves it off. But this one, it sticks. So those are two different ones. So I think I got it right. I'm hopeful, because I don't want to spend that kind of money having to replace that flywheel. We'll see. But the thing is if you do things like this, everything is on YouTube. And what's interesting in this case, I had watched 2 different YouTube videos. One was meticulous with it. He wanted to be very careful that he got everything right. So he demonstrated that the magnets because he had an old flywheel that had magnets still on it, and his flywheel that he needed to fix. So he took the old magnet, the old flywheel, and he checked the spacing in between the magnets, and he noticed that Kohler did not put them on correctly with correct spacing. So it was just kind of random varying. So that tells me you didn't need to have it that precise. And then when he checked the height, the 1/8 of the inch, again, Kohler, it wasn't very precise. Then I watched the other video, and he didn't go through all that scientific mumbo jumbo, how he spaced, you know, measured and everything. He said, it's not a spaceship. It doesn't have to be precise. So that told me that 2 different people who had done this, and apparently got him to work. The one that was meticulous, he never showed it running. You know, he painted the flywheel, and he was meticulous. The other guy, he took the flywheel, put it back on his mower, and it was running. So it told me that between the 2 of them, saying it didn't have to be perfect. So then I knew that I didn't have to have a bunch of special shims or anything. I could kind of estimate using, you know, clothespins and that kind of thing. Again, this is the stuff that I think that is important when you're going to live off grid. Being able to think on your feet. But again, YouTube is so vitally important. A lot of people say, oh, you're not off grid if you don't have the internet. Well, you're never going to be anywhere near off grid if you don't have the internet. You got to have the internet. It just makes life so much easier. I don't know why anybody would do without it. And the thing is I don't think people use it. I mean, you get on Facebook and you'll see somebody say, oh, I got a problem with my car, what is it? And they'll tell you the code of the whatever it is, and I Google it, and I'm like the pro now because I Googled it, and I tell them, okay, yeah, you got this problem. The car the other day, the truck, it got a code. Check engine light. Told me I needed to replace the variable valve timing solenoids. I didn't even know what they were. So I Googled it. It actually told me what the code number was, so I had to get on Google to look what the code interpreted. And then I watched YouTube videos. And then within 10 minutes, I was able to do it. Went out there, changed them, and the truck is running great. Had to replace the battery, but that was nothing related to what was going on. I just wonder how many people just, throw things away, like a lawnmower. This lawnmower is so incredibly awesome. And I picked it up for $100. And I've put another $100 into it. Plus, now I got this, $30 stator. And it just makes life so much better on the off-grid. But if I had to throw it away and buy a new one, I wouldn't be able to live off-grid. So if you'll click this up next box to take you to another video on my other channel, I sure would appreciate it if you go watch it. So I hope I can inspire you to figure it out so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.